Hello, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna tackle 3 bottles at the same time. 1 and 2, we're gonna imagine you found in your grandpa's cellar. One of them is something from 1933, definitely from Piemonte because it's from Mascarello Giuseppe, a great producer actually. The other one, we know it's a Barolo, but we don't know the vintage. In the last part of the video, we're going to tackle this 3rd bottle, which has been open for quite some time. I don't know exactly how long, but definitely months. What I'm going to teach you is to assess whether any of these bottles are good. Let's start from these 2 old fellas. How do you really approach bottles this old? First of all, you look at the bottle. There's 2 main signs that are going to show you if the wine inside is good or not. First of all, you want to look at the level of the wine. This portion here, the oxygen between the cork and the wine, is called the ullage. If the ullage is somewhat closer to the shoulder with a bottle that is 1933, we're actually pretty happy. If it goes below the shoulder, it means that the cork has failed and oxygen went through. So most likely this wine is not going to be good. The second thing you want to look at is the color of the wine. So put it against a light and you're gonna see if the wine still has color or if the color has faded. And you also want to look at the bottom of the bottle, which is where the sediment and the color itself will be if the cork has failed. The other bottle was showing sediments and the color is definitely not what we want. This one is actually very interesting. The level is pretty good and the color looks tasteable. Let's see. Here's the 2 wines that we just opened. As you can tell, there's a huge difference in the color. As I was expecting, the 1933 Nebbiolo grape, we think, Mascarello, has a color that already tells us that the wine is no longer drinkable, but it's still an incredible experience. This is a wine that is almost a century old. The smell on the nose, I wish you could smell it as well. It's very sour. It reminds me of an old closet, and it's very, very similar to kombucha for some reason. And it still has something. It's still telling me that it's from Piemonte in a way. I get this somewhat botanical tone of licorice. So, still fun. Not drinkable, but definitely an experience. This one, which is definitely a Barolo because it says it on the back label. I'm guessing it's probably late 60s. The bottle probably was not preserved perfectly because some of the late 60s Barolos you can still actually drink. The color is definitely better. The nose is actually amazing. Has everything that goes from licorice to dark chocolate to amaretto, tar, leather. So it's an amazing experience. By smelling it, I would hope that this would be still drinkable, but tasting it, you definitely feel the acidic portion of it. So it's tasting too sour. So it's already going towards wine's final destination, which is obviously vinegar. This is an experience that I recommend all wine drinkers to have, especially if you really love a region, in this case Piemonte. Drinking wine this old will give you an idea of the end of the life of a Piemonte wine. And in this case, we have at least 50 years here and almost a century. So it's just incredibly cool to even smell these wines. Now let's go to the third bottle. This is a Barbaresco Roncaglie 2019 that we opened for a previous video in which we were tasting a vertical of several different vintages from the same place. And this is actually an amazing wine from an amazing producer. But this very bottle was kept like this for 4 months. What we're gonna try and assess if this Barbaresco Roncaglie 19 by Podericola is still drinkable now. All right, let's smell and taste this Barbaresco Roncaglie 19 that was opened 4 months ago. I really know this wine, so for me, it's easy to understand that this is not a bottle that we just opened. The color is obviously already, still pretty good. It's not gonna fade, but I can already see a little bit of a change and oxidation in the rim. So it's going towards the brown color, while the regular bottle did not show this. We can actually pull some shots from the previous video. And the nose is actually the one that is telling me that it's been open for a while. I taste a lot of oxidative notes. This wine, to put it simply, smells much older than it is. It's still drinkable, but it's far away from what it should be. The taste is actually still good, but I'm already starting to feel the acidity from oxidation coming. So I'm gonna declare this bottle, for my standards, non-drinkable, but it's also been open for 4 months. So whenever you're approaching something like this that you don't know if it's still drinkable or not, I think the two most important aspects are feel if there's any oxidation in the nose. So if the bottle is smelling older than what it is, in this case it's a 19, so it should taste very fresh, and it's not. And at the same time, if you're feeling an acidity that should not be there, the bottle is not drinkable. Well, there you have it. If you have bottles from your grandpa's cellar, or if you want more tips on how to assess this kind of wines, you should join our club. Then that gives you a direct line with me on our sommeliers, which is the best way to actually learn more about wine. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the video. See you in the next one.